Hello, good evening. Hello.
Good evening, madam.
Yeah, good evening. 1 minute. Yeah, okay. So then, are there some more students to join the program? Oh, I'm searching for my slide, but it's not visible here. Okay, we'll see. I have already opened what I want to share. Wait 1 minute. Now we'll see. Okay. Do you have any idea whether there are some more students to join the lecture? Okay, shall we start? Okay, so there are 21 students at the moment. I can see some of your names. Yes, Nusha, Amali, Apira. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Dananjana, Fatima, another Fatima, Jasmine, Fazha, Halima, Jennifer, Banu, Mufa, Nifra, Nirosha, Pasan. Okay, there are many more students. Pilif, then there's only S, Sachini, Safna, Shafiq, Sumayya, Nirosha. Okay. So,
good evening.
Before we start
Yes.
the subject, I would like to just have a chat with you. Okay, make me aware. Is this the first subject that you are going to study for this semester?
Linguistics. Yes.
Yes.
Today is the first session, I think.
Today is the first session.
For
Okay,
me.
nice.
For me.
Then
I
you
don't know.
Yeah, how many students will join the program? Okay, anyhow, we will get to know it later. So today you are going to start a new subject. The subject is called Language and Linguistics. Have you heard of this subject early?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So then this is a subject that you have already heard. Maybe there are some students who is having a vague idea about the subject. Have you done this subject early?
In the training period, we did language and linguistics.
Okay, you have done that also. Fine. Okay, we'll see whether you will meet the same thing here. Okay, so then you can see who I am. I'm Dr. Anusha Tennakon. I'm working as a permanent lecturer, senior lecturer in English at SLIAD. Okay, so then I have mentioned my qualifications. I have obtained my PhD from Columbia University, master degree from Kelaniya University, and the basic degree that is from English special degree from University of Sri Jayawardenepura. And I have indicated my mobile number also. I will remove one number. I'm not using it now. And then my email address is also here. So then I will be sharing this slide with you. There's no need of writing them. So then if you have doubts regarding the subject, you can contact me via this email address and mobile. So then I showed you my qualifications and other things because as students, you have a right to learn under a qualified person. Okay, you should know whether the person from whom you are learning is a qualified person or not. Okay, only with that purpose. Okay, we'll go to the syllabus. Okay, this is the syllabus outline. Just have an idea. Okay, let me highlight certain parts. Okay, so then it will be very visible for you. Okay, so I suppose now it is clear to you. So there are altogether 10 topics. Okay, so here you can see introduction to language and linguistics. Most probably we'll be covering that today. Phonetics and phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, pragmatics, language variation and change, language acquisition, language and society, application of linguistics. Okay, so this is the syllabus outline. And then as I got to know from your management of the university, we have to cover this syllabus within 12 days. Okay, so it's a huge responsibility for me, as well as it's not an easy task for you. So moreover, we are conducting these lectures in online platform. So then you should use the time properly. Okay, so then I have some conditions. I have to tell you it at the beginning. Even though we conduct lectures online mode, it doesn't mean that you should be silent. Okay, so when the students are silent, I feel I am just talking to my laptop, the screen of my laptop. Okay, so then I don't like to have that feeling. So you have to talk. And there is a way that we can communicate. There are ways actually. You can open your mouth and talk. You can unmute your microphone and talk. So if you have some signal errors or if your connection is weak, you can put messages to chat box. Will you do that?
Yes.
Okay, so otherwise, if we do not do so, this will be really boring for me as well as for you. Okay, because we have to be together for 12 days, 12 sessions, 24 hours. So I'm ready to do the maximum from my side. From your side also, I need your cooperation to achieve goals. Okay, shall we go to the first lesson today? We'll go to.
Okay, ma'am.
Are you okay, Shuna? Okay, so here. Introduction to linguistics. I am sharing the slides with the management, then they will share it with you all. So no need of taking screenshots, writing down notes. But if you prefer them, you can do it, no problem. Some students, they want to write something while listening. It's very good. So you can have your own methods. The first message. Okay, very good, very nice. Okay, introduction to linguistics. Okay, so then under that, first we'll get to know what is language. Okay, simply read. After reading, you can inform it to me, or at least put a message to chat box, or else you can say finish reading. Now something happened, not from my end, but anyway, we are back once again. I will share the slide. So this is what I asked you to read. Okay, so I am a lecturer who likes when students ask questions. Okay, so if you ask questions, if you ask certain things for clarification, I really like it. So then I feel you are learning. The thing that I hate is the silence actually. Okay, okay, it seems you have completed reading. Okay, very good. Okay, so some have already mentioned certain definitions. Very good. Okay, no issue. Okay. Okay, so Hari, we'll get to know about this. Language can be defined in a few ways, depending on the emphasis you want. There's no only one way that we can define language. So we can define language in different ways. Okay, so that is the basic idea. Language can be defined in a few ways. And that the way that we define language depends on the emphasis we want to put. Okay, so then you will understand it. So then a simple definition: language is a structured system of communication. So that is one definition. Simple definitions. Okay, so then one sentence definition: a structured system of communication. This definition highlights the core function of language to convey thoughts, ideas, and information between people or among people. Okay, so then here, the purpose of language is for communication. Okay, actually that is the main purpose of a language, that is for communication. Okay, a structured system of communication. So this system is well structured. The system of language is a well structured system for communication. It emphasizes that language is not random, but has rules and patterns that govern how it works. Okay, so this language becomes structured because it's not vague. So then it has rules and patterns that we have to follow. Okay, did you get some idea?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then the second one is a system of symbols and rules. So the other person can say language is a system of symbols and rules. This definition breaks down language into its building blocks. Okay, so it's a system of symbols and rules. Symbols are words, signs, and rules are grammar and syntax, and emphasizes how these elements work together to create meaning. Okay, so in a language, words and signs are there, grammar and syntax, they are there, and then language emphasizes how these elements work together to create meaning. Okay, so these words and grammar, syntax, all these things join together to create meaning. A system of symbols means language has words and rules. Is it also clear? Here, the symbols, it refers to the words actually. So language contains many words. Think of English language. So how many words are there in English language? Okay, so at the same time, there are rules how we should arrange these words in different way to convey different ideas. Okay, so that is why it is said language is a system of symbols and rules. The words are there, rules are there. So even though words are there, we can't use them as we want. Okay, there is a pattern. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we'll go to the next one. Okay, so we'll see a language is a social and cultural tool. You know what tool? Equipment. This definition focuses on the role of language in shaping our experiences and interactions within society and culture. So then this definition focuses on society and culture. It highlights that language is not just a way to communicate, but also reflects and influences our understanding of the world. Okay, so then I don't know whether you have heard, I think you have heard. So there is an opinion, language and culture or language and society are inseparable. Okay, so language cannot be extracted or cannot be removed from society and culture. Okay, we'll take Sri Lanka as an example. There are two languages used in Sri Lanka other than English. English is common. The one is Sinhalese language, other one is Tamil language. Okay, Sinhalese language means Sinhalese culture. Tamil language means it represents two cultures. One is Muslims, the other one is Tamil. Okay, so language and culture, they are inseparable. Okay, did you get the point? So then language stand as a tool to present society and culture. If I tell you further, from the way a person talks, we can get an idea about the society where he is living or the society to which he belongs. Okay, so language is a kind of tool which indicates a person's social and society and culture. Okay, social and cultural, correct. Okay, so we'll go further. Okay, so then this is some general idea about language. So different people define language in different way according to the way that they want to focus on. So a language is a structured system of communication. Language is a system of symbols and rules. A language is a social and cultural tool. And there are many more definitions. You can collect more. Yes, we acquire our first language as children in a culture. So that is Ravindika Gimbhani. Yes, Ravindika Gimbhani is correct. Okay, so then as an infant, we happen to be in the culture to which we belong. Okay, so then if we accidentally, if we happen to be in another culture, so we will belong to that culture. We will talk that language. Okay, so then we'll discuss this also. So what is human language? So what we are using is a human language. What is that? Yeah, just read. Okay, did you read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll see. Human language is distinct from other animal communication system. Distinct means very clear from other animal communication systems in several key ways. Here's a breakdown of what makes it special. Okay, so they're not only human beings, even animals, they have a language. But human language is quite different from animal language. Okay, from these aspects. First one is compositionality. So what is that? Compositionality. It's a very lengthy words. Composition, you know, you have heard of compositionality. This is a powerful feature that allows us to create an infinite number of sentences by combing smaller meaningful units like words. Okay, so you know what? Compose, the music composer, the lyric composer, we say, the person who is building something. Okay, so this is a powerful feature that allows us to create an infinite number of sentences. Human language consists of infinite number of sentences by combing smaller meaningful units like words. So then if we are given 50 words, you just imagine how many sentences we can form from those 50 words. So imagine Lego bricks. With a finite set of words, we can build an endless variety of expressions. Okay, so then so same thing which I told you, when you are given certain words, you can build an endless variety of expressions. Okay, so that is compositionality, the ability to create more sentences. Okay, then referentiality, another special feature of human language is referentiality. Human language isn't limited to just conveying emotions or basic needs. We can use it to refer to specific objects, events, and ideas, even if they are not present in the moment. Okay, so then animal language, using animal language, animals convey their emotions or basic needs. Okay, so then you have seen when dogs are angry, how they communicate. So when they are happy, how they communicate, wagging their tails, for an example. So most animals, they express their emotions and needs using a language. But we do more than we also express our emotion and needs. But other than these two, we do lots of things. We can use it to refer to specific objects, events, and ideas, even if they are not present in the moment. Okay, so then animals, they communicate at that particular time. But we communicate about our past, about our future, like that. So that is the meaning of referentiality. So what is this message? Yes, that's what I told you. Man can refer talk, past, and future. But animals, they can't. Okay, next one. Okay, so we'll see a duality. This refers to the two levels of structure in language. So in language, there are two structures. At the first level, we have basic building blocks like sounds, phonemes that combine to form words, morphemes. Okay. So then these words are arranged according to grammatical rules, that means syntax, to create sentences that convey meaning. Okay, so that is the dual system. Okay, that means sound system means they are the sound and words together, and then there is a system of rules, syntax, and these two should join to convey meaning. And then displacement. So one of you also had mentioned it early. Displacement means, as mentioned earlier, human language isn't restricted to the present only. So it's not something limited to present. We can talk about the past, future, or even hypothetical situations, so which are not real. So imaginary situations. This allows for complex storytelling, planning, and sharing of knowledge across generations. Okay, so that is a special thing in human language. Okay, so now we discussed 4 factors: functionality, referentiality, next one, duality, displacement, and these terms are very technical, I know, but meanings are not that tough. And arbitrariness, just understand that also. Okay, we'll see arbitrariness. That means the connection between the symbols in a language, that means words and signs, and their meaning is arbitrary. So that means there is no one-to-one relationship between the word and to which it refer. Okay. For example, there is no inherent reason why cat refers to that furry feline. It's just a social convention we have all agreed on. So then we have lots of nouns in English language: tree, table, cat, dog, man, girl. But there's no reason why we call a boy boy, not a girl. So that is a kind of social convention. Did you get the point? Okay. Arbitrariness. That means we call tree tree, but we don't know why it is called tree. But instead of tree, in the past, at the beginning, if they used cat, we could have told cat to a tree. Okay, so that is called arbitrariness. Okay, now we completed 2 topics. The first we discuss what is language, and then we discuss 4 simple, not 4 even, 3 simple definitions, and I ask you to collect more definitions. And then we discuss about what is the characteristics of human language, how it differs from animal language. Up to now, do you have any questions? Yes. Tell me whether you have questions or not. Okay, what is this message? Okay, madam, no question. Okay, nice. And now we are moving to another topic, subtopic. What are the characteristics of language? Okay, so then I tell this always to my students at different places. The best thing that you need to do. Okay, so then if you want to study these things later, have a summary of each and every topic. Okay, because when your exam is coming closer, it's not practical to go through each and every slides here, PowerPoint slides. But if you bring the idea of the slide into a small paper, okay, so whether it is small or large, if you summarize them, that will be ideal. So you need to do that. Hari, okay, read. Did you read this? I am waiting until you finish reading.
Finish, ma'am.
Hari, okay. So human language is a fascinating and complex system with many defining characteristics. Here are some of the key features that set it apart from other communication systems. So these are the key features of language. Systematic. Language isn't random. It has a structure with rules and patterns that govern how words are formed, combined, and interpreted. Okay, so language is a well-structured system. It's very, very systematic, very, very methodical. So there are structures with rules and patterns, and that structure and rules will lead how words are formed, combined, and interpreted. This includes grammar, syntax, and morphology. Okay, so language is a systematic. Language is systematic. And next. Okay. So then hope you read it. Language is symbolic. A symbolic in the sense language relies on symbols like words or signs to represent things, ideas, and concepts. Okay, so then language is there to express ideas, concepts, and thoughts. And these things are done by symbols like words. These symbols can be spoken, written, or signed. The symbols are spoken, written, or signed. The meaning is not inherent in the symbol itself, but rather arises from social convention. Okay, so that is how a language becomes symbolic. So then under symbols, it can be words, signs are there in language. And when we talk also, there are signs, the facial expressions, when we bow a person, when we put together our hands, and when we say, I born or something like that in single, I mean. So that is very, very symbolic. And then arbitrariness that we discussed earlier also, the connection between a symbol and its meaning is arbitrary. There's no inherent reason why particular sound sequence refers to a specific object. It's just a social agreement within the language community. So today we call cat a cat, dog a dog, man a man. Okay, so we accept that. So that is the agreement within the large community. The whole world agree with the idea. CAT, cat, it is for a animal whom which we call cat. Something like that. Then we'll go to the next one. We discussed earlier also, but this can be taken as a characteristic also. Duality we already discussed. That's a double-layered system. One side the sound system is there, the other side the grammar, syntax, they are there. And then the productivity. So another characteristics of language. This is a remarkable feature that allows us to generate an infinite number of expressions and sentences. Yes, expression. This also we discussed earlier. We can constantly create new phrases and sentences to talk about anything we can imagine. Okay, so then language gets new words. So the words are into the language. Okay, so that is very, very productive. Displacement we discussed. Okay, that means using a language, we can talk about our past, present, and future. Okay, displacement as we already discussed, we'll go to next one, learned. Okay, we are still with the introductory part of language. Okay, still we did not go to a lesson in the sense, so there are separate 9 lessons. Still we are with the introduction. A displacement that we already discussed. That means a language does not express ideas only at a particular time. So we can talk about our past, present, future, imaginary things like that. That is the meaning of displacement. And learn. While there may be an innate human capacity for language, the specifics of language are learned through exposure and interactions within a social environment. Okay, so then all human beings, they have an innate capacity for a language. Anybody can learn a language. But still, we can improve our learning, or we learn through exposure and interactions with social environment. So even though we have an innate human capacity for a language, the specifics of language, vocabulary and grammar are learned through exposure and interactions within a social environment. Okay, so as a human being, we have an innate human capacity for a language, but it doesn't mean that we should not learn it through exposure. Okay, so the innate capacity can be improved through learning and the exposure and the interaction. Okay, so this one before that, sorry. Cultural and social, read that also. Okay, we'll see. Language is cultural and social. Language is deeply intertwined with culture and society. It shapes how we think about the world, influences our understanding of experiences, and serves as a tool for social interaction and building communities. Okay, so language is cultural and social. Intertwined. Okay, that's the idea. These are just some of the defining characteristics of human language. If you are interested in specific aspects like the different functions of language or how language evolve over time, we can provide more information on those topics as well. Okay, so I just mentioned it. So if necessary, we can cut them also. I can share some document for that. Okay, so can you remember what we discussed up to now? The definition of language. Okay. So how human language differs from animal language, and then characteristics of language, and how it differs from animal language, and the characteristics of language, they overlap actually. Okay, so can we move forward?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now we will pay our attention to the origin of languages. See. Okay. The origin of languages. The origin of language is a fascinating mystery that scholars have debated for centuries. So from this sentence itself, you can understand it's very difficult to tell the exact origin of language because there are lots of debates on it. There's no single definitive answer, but here's a glimpse into some of the ongoing theories and areas of exploration. Okay, there's no one-to-one idea about the origin of languages. There are different viewpoints. Okay, number one, timeline. Estimates for the emergence of language range widely from as early as 2 million years ago with Homo habilis to a more recent development with Homo sapiens less than 200,000 years ago. Okay, so according to the timeline, that concept, it is said that language range widely, language started spreading widely before 2 million years ago. Okay, at that time, Homo habilis was the category of the human being, the man. A more recent development with Homo sapiens. Okay, timeline. Homo habilis, that is a name of ancient man, actually. So during that time, there was a language. You see. I'm waiting until you finish reading.
Finish, ma'am.
Okay. Continuity was discontinuity. There are two main camps of thoughts. Continuity theorists propose that language gradually evolved from earlier form of communication in primates. Okay, can I in Sinhala. So then continuity theorists, those who believe in it, they propose that language gradually evolved. Discontinuity theorists believe human language is so unique, emerged relatively rapidly, perhaps due to a genetic mutation. Okay, so that is the opinion of them. Okay, so genetic mutation means genetic change, like that. Okay, some believe the continuity theorists, they believe language develop, like or language came gradually. But discontinuity theorists, they say language emerged rapidly. Two opposite ideas. Then proto-language theories. Some theories delve into the possible ancestors of many modern languages. The most well-known example is Proto-Indo-European, thought to be the root of many European and Asian languages. Okay, so then proto-language theories, they say Proto-Indo language is the root of many European and Asian languages. Sound symbolism was learned arbitrariness. Some theories propose that language began with sounds that inherently mimic things they represented. Okay, so that is called bow-wow theory. Okay, so then most of the words which we use today, they started with certain sounds that human beings emitted when they saw certain things. While others argue symbols and their meanings were completely arbitrary and learned convention. Okay, so some people say the sounds that we make today, the words, they were based on different things. When ancient man saw certain things, they emitted different sounds. And at the same time, learned arbitrariness. So they say language is completely arbitrary and a learned convention. Language is something that we have to learn. Okay, are you bored? So this is how it is. We are really helpless. Okay, what to do? you are learning for a degree. So when you are reading for a degree, so you have to get lots of things. Okay, so anyway, learning is not interesting. That is how it is. Okay, so then it may be raining sometimes in your area. You may feel it's better to go to bed and cover yourself with the bed sheet and sleep. Your learning will not allow you, so that is how life is. Okay, sound symbolism was learned arbitrariness. That we discussed. Okay, this one. Sorry. So here are some of the challenges in studying the origin of language. Okay, so then there's no one-to-one correct answer for the definition of the, for the origin of languages. But there are, because there are challenges in studying the origin of language. Okay, just see what are those challenges. Okay, so ever since up to now, there were linguists who tried to find the origin of languages, but they faced lots of problems. It was a challenge actually because of the following reasons. Lack of direct evidence. Since language is primarily spoken, there's no physical record from our deep past. We rely on indirect evidence like archaeological finds and reconstructions from related language. Okay, because there are no direct evidence about the origin of language from the past. So those who try to find the origin of languages, they try to depend on the evidence of archaeological and other evidence. Then complexity of language. Language is a multifaceted system with various features. It is difficult to pinpoint a single origin point for such complex ability. Okay, so language is very complex. There are 4 skills. Actually, there are 6 language skills. Listening, speaking, reading, writing, vocabulary, grammar. So then if we are searching for the origin of language, so we have to search for the origin of all these. So it's a very complex process. Okay. Despite the challenges, researchers continue to explore the origin of language through various approaches. Okay, so linguist. And do you know who linguist is? So they are the one who study about languages. So they know that searching for the origin of language is very challenging, but still they did not give up their attempt. They are searching for the origin of languages under different approaches. Then comparative linguistics. This involves comparing features of different languages to trace their historical relationship and potentially reconstruct early forms. Okay, so the one approach is comparative approach. So then they compare features of different languages to trace their historical relationship. And so they are really nice theories. We are just simply touching. And then it has been discovered that Sanskrit language, it has influenced lots of languages, Indo-European languages like that. And then neurologistics, studying the brain areas involved in language processing can provide clues about the possible biological underpinning of language. Yes, so some linguists, they try to find the origin of language with the help of neurologists. So neurologistics, that means studying the brain areas involved in language processing. Okay, so language processing is related to our brain, we know. And we have two hemispheres, left and right. And then I can't remember exactly whether it is left or right. And these two hemispheres control our certain abilities. Then studies of non-human primates. Primates means those who lived in the past. Primitive Philippian research on how primates communicate can offer insight into potential precursors. Or to human language. Okay, so just like that, there are different approaches. Okay, so I will give you a time. Okay, so introductory part is over, then we can start the other thing. Okay, the quest to understand the origin of language is an ongoing scientific adventure. Even in this 21st century, still people are trying to find the origin of languages. As we gather more evidence and explore new avenues for research, we may get closer to unrevealing this great mystery. Okay, so until today, no one can tell exactly how language started. But in future, of course, sometimes we will get an exact answer for how language originated. Okay, so that is the end of this slide. Okay, up to now, do you have any questions? So simply we did an introduction to linguistics. Are you okay with what we did?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so then I will share the slides today itself. Then you will receive it soon. So then you can go through it. And if there are still some puzzling places, you can ask next day when we meet. Okay, so we'll go to the other section. Phonetics and phonology. So now only we are moving to that. So there should be something on that. Okay, so sorry, before that, I will share this also. The whole is very lengthy. That is why I wanted to do it in small scale. But anyway, I will share that. So then your knowledge will be broadened. Okay, here you can see. So then different opinions about the origin of languages. Okay, I will share this slide also. Then leisurely you can read it. Okay, so then the most of the people believe that the origin of language can be traced to the Garden of Eden. Even among people who may get little credence to that story, many are persuaded that language originated in paradise, where its pristine form was logical and perfectly grammatical. Okay, so then some people have this superstitious belief also. The belief is widespread that with the passage of time, languages that were once pure have become contaminated with impurities. Okay, so there were some original pure languages, they mixed with other languages, and as a result, they got contaminated. Okay, so it's a very simple factor. Do you think that any pure language is available in the world now? You see, language is changing a lot, but it should be like that. If a particular language cannot change according to the time, that language will be a dead language. Okay, so in Sri Lanka also there was particular group of people who tried to protect Sinhalese language. And Hela so even Arisa Nahaburu, they were there. But even they could not do it. So then Sinhalese language is the only language, is the language that is spoken only by Sinhalese. But still, even in this 21st century, it survives. The reason is Sinhalese language is open for changes. Okay, so then otherwise, if it does not change with the time, it will become a dead language. Can you just mention me some of the dead languages which were very powerful in the past? What are they? Can you give a sample of a dead language? No idea. So have you heard the Pali and Sanskrit? Have you heard of them?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what happened to Pali? What happened to Sanskrit? They were dominating actually for a long time. But now they have become dead language. Some people say language. Lord Buddha used to preach doctrine that was Pali and Sanskrit. But now no one is talking in Pali or Sanskrit. It has become a dead language.
Excuse me, madam.
Yeah, sure.
Is there any language, Old English? It also coming under this dead language.
And no, Ekahari. Yes, what you told is correct. Old English is also it is coming under English language. Only thing that language was not old at that time, but now we feel it is archaic language, old language. Okay, so that means that's correct. What you are telling exactly correct. That variety, that means the English language used in the long time ago, that has become a dead language. Okay, so then even the language that we use today, it is 21st century, 2024, will be a kind of dead language after 100 years. Okay, so if I give you certain examples, you know, some words are having novel meaning with the time. So I'm extremely sorry, I don't know Tamil language to bring examples, but I believe some of the Tamil students can understand Sinhala. Am I correct?
Yes,
Yes,
madam.
madam.
Yes. Okay. So, you know, for an example, nowadays we say patta. Okay, so we say it's a mara patta film makeup. We say, but in the past, the term patta, it was totally with the negative sense. But now we use the same word for positive sense. Patta it was very tasty. But in the past, patta means negative. Okay, I can't fill the words in this open online platform. But if you know, you can imagine what I mean. So language changes with the time, and then the meaning of language, the words changes with time. So the best example is, you know, there are certain terms that, so then samanala. So what is the meaning of it in the past? I will give you one example. When Vijay Kumar Singh, he was killed, murdered actually. At his funeral, you know, Professor Carlo Fonseca. Carlo Fonseca is a professor, the dean of the medical faculty. Okay. So then he delivered a speech. He is having a relationship to Vijay Kumar Singh, maybe his uncle. So then he delivered a speech. So there he mentioned, I will tell in Sinhala, me marila inne samanalai. Okay. So what does it mean? What does it mean? That means that is to indicate his innocence. Samanalaya means very innocent person, very harmless insect. Samanalaya. Okay, so that was the idea used in the past. But then හිතන්න බලන්න අපි කවුරු හරි තරුණ ළමයි පිරිමි කෙනෙක් හරි ගෙදරකට ගිහිල්ලා කතාවක් පවත්වද්දී if somebody say මේ මැරලා ඉන්නේ සමනලේ, how will be the meaning today? How will be the meaning? So what is the meaning of that term today? So that is to indicate a person who is gay. Okay, so that is how language changes with the time. Okay, so it becomes contaminated with other things. Did you get the point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so There are lots of words, impurities. No language is pure because there are lots of words which came from other language. Okay, so then there are lots of Latin terms in English language. Okay, so recently from Asia also new word went to English vocabulary. Can you remember what is that word? Maybe 1.5 years ago. Okay, so yes, there are many terms, Latin terms, which came to English language. Very recently, can you remember the word "ayo"? Okay, that went to Oxford Dictionary. So if you type "ayo" and if you Google it, so it gives you the meaning. So then that is to express sadness. Okay, so then the Oxford Dictionary does not say that is Sinhala word or Sri Lankan words, but that is commonly Asian. Even Indians, they say "ayo." Okay, that is sound. Then illogicalities. Okay, so then logicalities, double negatives are commonly cited English example. Here is the claim. Just as two negatives yield positive or algebra or logic. Okay, so then language is sometimes illogical. So even though there are rules and other things, so sometimes it is illogical. It's not true. The meaning is, sorry, it's not untrue. That means it's true. Okay, so he never did nothing right. The meaning is he did something right. Illogicalities are there. We can't read everything. Hi, okay, what is the time? Okay, it's 9. So then, even though I showed you the second slide, don't get confused. If you need, I will share it. But what we did today, the very first day, that is to give you an introduction to linguistics. So if I summarize once again what I did. So first we got to know about some very simple and common definition of language. And we discussed 3. Language is a structured system of communication. Language is a system of symbols and rules. Language is a social and cultural tool. So we discussed that. So then I asked you to collect some nice definition about language. And then we came to the subtopic, what is human language and how? Especially we paid our attention how it differs from animal language. And then we got to know certain concepts are there, compositionality. Compositionality. So that means the new ideas, new sentences can be formed. Referentiality. Okay, so that is another technique. So it's not limited only to just emotions or basic needs. We can refer it to specific objectives, events, ideas. And then we discuss duality. So language is dual. The sound system is there, grammar is there. Displacement. Using language, we can talk about anytime. Then arbitrariness, that means the word and its meaning. We don't know why it is happening like that. There's no interconnection. So then we discuss the characteristics of language, systematic, symbolic, arbitrariness, duality, productivity, displacement, learn, cultural and social. And then we came to the topic, the origin of languages. There we discussed that there are certain theories about it, timeline, community was discontinuity, continuity was discontinuity, proto-language theories. Okay. Then we discussed why it is difficult to study the origin of language, lack of direct evidence, complexity of language, comparative linguistic, neurologistic studies of human primates. Okay, and that was the end. Okay, what is this message? PDF. So then when I send you the PowerPoint presentation, can't you change it to a PDF? Okay, I will do that. Okay, so then you want the PowerPoint slides in PDF form. Okay, I will do like that. Okay, so then you may be having lots of confusion being the very first day, and maybe you are new to the subject, whatever it is. Don't take it seriously. We just started the subject. Simply, we just discussed the introduction to the subject. Then next week, so we are going to very clear subject areas, phonetics and phonology. So that's what we are going to do next week. Okay, message. Okay, so shall we wind up the session here?
Okay, madam.
Okay, then.
Okay, madam.
Okay, good night and have a nice day. We'll meet again soon.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Good night.
Okay, good night.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Okay, good night, good night.